Today at your desk, you should have a slab of clay, a triangle that says cut 2, a popsicle stick, and a slip cup that has slip and a toothbrush. We're going to take our popsicle stick and hold it in our fist. We're going to put our thumb on the flat side and our finger on top of the skinny side, pressing down all the way to the tablecloth to make your first cut. We're going to cut our slab of clay in half. Then we're going to turn one of those halves to the side so that we can make 2 squares and a rectangle. We're going to take both of those square pieces. We're going to squish and smush them into a ball. We need 2 of these shapes equal in size. Okay, next we're going to take the meaty part of our fist and we're going to tap our sphere into an oval. You kind of want to do it gently. We want to make sure it's as thick as our pinky. We don't want it to get too thin. Then we're going to lay our template on top using our popsicle stick, and we're going to cut 2 triangles out of these 2 balls of clay. I'm going to set my 2 triangles to the side. I'm going to take my large rectangle and I'm going to start squishing it in my hands like a burrito. I want to make it long and round so that I can roll it into a coil. A coil is a long, round piece of clay like a snake. But we're going to keep making it as long as we can with our hands like this, and then we're going to start rolling it on our mat. If yours starts to get flat on one side, and sometimes that happens, just take your coil and tap it gently on the skinny side, not the wide side. It's already flat enough. We want to try to make it back round and then start rolling again. It needs to be about as long as your arm. It also needs to be as thick as your thumb. So if it is skinnier than your thumb, you need to roll it again. Here we're going to take our popsicle stick after we've slipped and scored around the edge of our triangle. We're going to cut a point at the end of this coil, and we're going to measure the side of our triangle. We're going to slip and score, and then we're going to put that coil just on the edge of our triangle. Then I'm going to put my finger underneath the coil and I'm going to cut it. Now we're going to do that again. We're going to make a point at the end of our coil just by cutting a little sliver off with our popsicle stick. I'm going to slip and score on my coil. I'm going to slip and score on the edge, and then I'm going to place it together. We're making a box. I'm going to put my finger underneath and support it. Now I'm going to start smoothing that down. Now I'm going to measure the back, putting my finger underneath to help cut it. Now I'm going to slip and score both ends and the bottom, and I'm going to stick that in, and I'm going to smooth it to the back. So I want my cake to look like it's iced on the end, has icing on the end, but in the middle, you're going to see my layers. Okay, so that's my first layer. Now you can make yours as tall as you want. You can have 1 layer, you can have 3 layers, you can have 2 layers. It just depends on how much clay that you actually have. Now I'm going to start smoothing the end of this and getting rid of those layers just on the end. I don't want to get rid of them on the sides because I want to see the layers of my cake, but on the end, I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm going to tap it so it's a little flatter. Make it a little pointier at the end, making sure I'm smoothing with my fingers, using that slip on my fingers, not the toothbrush. The toothbrush is strictly for slipping and scoring. Your fingers are for smoothing. So I'm going to slip and score on the edges. I'm going to lay my coil on the top. I'm going to support it with my finger and I'm going to cut it. So that is what you need to do all the way around, either 1, 2, or 3 layers. You decide. Now that I have my layers done, I'm going to start decorating the lid to my box. Now we're not going to put these together. If you put the lid onto your box, it is going to stick and then you won't have a box. You'll just have a piece of cake that you can't put anything in. So you can decorate the top of your cake any way you want. You decide what you want to put on it, okay? I'm going to put little roses on mine, like it's like around the edge of your cake. Sometimes you'll see little flowers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just using my extra clay, rolling little tiny coils, squishing it with my finger or my thumb, and then I'm just rolling it up. Using the slip to kind of keep it damp so it doesn't crack as I roll it. Okay, now here I'm going to take a little piece of my clay and I'm going to make a tiny triangle that I'm going to glue to the bottom of my lid. That's going to kind of keep it from sliding around after we glaze it, because when the glaze kind of makes it a little bit slick. So I'm going to put a little piece of triangle underneath my lid so it has kind of a lip to catch on. You do not have to do this if you don't want to. It's just an option. Now I'm testing out my lid to see if it actually fits on the top. I'm not squishing it down, I'm not sealing it, I'm just testing it. And I noticed that the top of my cake is rounded. I need to tap it gently, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, on the top so that it kind of flattens out so that my lid will fit properly on my cake. So I'm going to test it out again, but I am not going to stick those together. Okay, I'm going to gather up my extra clay and I'm going to bring my lid and my box, my cake slice, separately to the shelf. On the back of this, you need your ID number and your teacher's initials.